In today's episode, we have Patryk, the owner, CEO of RS Nutrition and Apparel. Patryk, welcome to Blackbull, brother.
Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you for coming. What inspired you to become a CEO of nutrition company?
So it kind of goes back. It's not a long story, but I'll just break it down, right?
Yeah.
So, when I'm not originally from here, I came when I was 9 years old. When I was a teenager, I came from Europe. So I came from like the farmlands, and I came from an area where it's not easy to get work. So when I was a teenager, I was like, my parents didn't have any money really.
Yep.
They worked hard. So what I saw was like, well, I can get as many jobs as I can here in America and fucking make money and get what I need. So what ended up happening is I just started working, multiple jobs, so forth. Before I graduated, I ended up getting my ex pregnant in high school. So I was like, okay, things are getting real.
Yep.
I gotta fucking get something serious. So I ended up starting to work at Coca-Cola when I was like 19, I think, or 20. And I started as a regular guy, right, on the bottom, just packing out shelf, right? But I saw the opportunity. I wanted to move up right away. I wanted my own route, commission, all that stuff. So I hustled. I worked tons of hours, so forth. Within a couple months, they put me as a mentor. And then within like 6 months, I had my own route. Within a year, I was the only one in the company that would have like 2 routes together. So it was great. Yeah, it was tons of commission. I was like, man, I just want to work and keep going. So fast forward, after a couple of years, I ended up getting promoted to be a district manager. I ran Philadelphia for a long time. Then I ran parts of New Jersey on the south side because I live in New Jersey. But what ended up happening is, I went through a divorce. I was like, look, man, I need more money because this girl's doing taking everything from me.
Let me do it.
Bro, I was left with a spoon, man. Like, it was it. That's all I had. It was a fucking spoon and child support to pay. So, so what ended up happening is, I was running districts for Coca-Cola, and I started bouncing. I was bouncing almost like 4 nights a week for years. And it just got to a point when I was like, man, this isn't sustainable. Like, there's no growth. In the corporate world, I realized that corporate world fucking sucks. When you start getting past a certain level, it doesn't even matter about work, man, or how hard you work. It's just whatever they want on paper, and just if you fit whatever they're looking for, right? So I was like, this isn't working. And then my previous wife, we were dating, and she's like, look, there's an open spot near like a Planet Fitness. It'd be real cool if you open a store, because we were so much into fitness. That was my passion for like over 10 years. I was doing it. And then, I slept on it. I woke up in the morning and I just called. And I was like, look, I'll open a store. So I have a part-time, and then I won't have to bounce, and I'll still be a district manager.
A store for Average Nutrition?
Yeah, for Average Nutrition. So I was like, I'll just do that, and that'll be my part-time, right? Easy stuff. So what ended up happening is Coca-Cola then started going through another restructure. And restructures basically means is, look, if you're still here, bro, you're going to do twice the amount of work for the same pay, because we're firing the other people. So what ended up happening is I told them just to put me on the list, let me go. And I was like, I'm just going to put everything into this store, basically a brand. I'm going to put everything, go all in, and I'm either going to make it work or I'm going to be homeless. And that's it. I really don't care. And what ended up happening is, man, I just wanted to create, look, man, my goal was it wasn't fucking profit. Like, I don't care about profit.
Yeah.
Profit comes later on. That was never my passion. I never opened it just to make money, especially when I left Coke. It was just like, I don't want to feel like I'm at work. I want to be comfortable, and I want to do what I love. So I started to create a brand, because my goal was mainly to create a brand. That was the biggest thing, was just to create a store, but a brand that had meaning, right? That if I was a customer or an athlete, or going to the gym, I'd want to wear the logo on my chest. I'd want to go to the store. I'd want to hang out, things like that.
Trust.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I started building it that way. And then second is like, I just want to carry the stuff, I don't care how expensive it is, that I would use, the good quality shit. And I just want to give knowledge out there, because it's so hard to find. And because of my background, I knew the importance of mixing margins. So I wasn't chasing high margins on products. I just knew how to mix it, and it would be fine.
Cold, yeah.
And that's what ended up happening. And then it was just like right away, the community really backed me a lot.
You have a lot of support, man.
Yeah, I had a lot of support from the beginning. And I remember when I opened, I was like, I need to do an event. I want to do an event. I want to bring tons of pros in, do something that I've never been done before in Jersey. So like 6 months in, you know, I brought, it was like over 20 vendors. I had tons of IFBB pros for a meet and greet. And I did an event and it was fucking huge. Huge, man. It was multiple hundreds of people. And it got my name out there real quick.
The first event?
Yeah, the very first event. And it got my name out real quick. Like I remember there was a GNC not too far away. That was like $1 million GNC. They tried to copy it. It didn't work. Because it wasn't the same meaning behind it like my meaning. My meaning was to bring the community in, to bring these people to meet them and so forth. And so that kicked off. And then what ended up happening is like I never had an intention. Basically when I was doing everything, I was planning that what if just in case in the future I have multiple stores, if I open my own brand or if I open my gym, I want the kind of pieces to be set like a chessboard, but the initial part was the brand. So that's what I was always concentrating on. And then as things started to move in a positive light, I was like, you know what? There's an opportunity. Maybe I'll open in the store. And honestly, that actually happened it was pandemic. Because the pandemic the pandemic hit. And it was just like, fuck, man, this is horrendous. For the first 3 months, man, I'm just sitting in a store and I'm like, how can I be relevant? What can I do, man? I try to, you know, I was donating stuff to the hospitals, to the nurses. I started donating to the police force. I started doing a lot more videos around like health. And I was just trying to be relevant because I knew if people saw that I was trying to do something for them, they would remember me when things opened back up. So at that time, I was training in PA because PA opened up. So I was training there and I was training at a Crunch. And this one employee, he stopped me. He's like, hey, man, what's going on, man? I know who you are. I've seen you on social media. Do you want to do a sampling here? And I'm like, no, there's another store here. I don't really sample in PA, but I'll link you up. I was like, you work here? He's like, no, I'm the district manager. I'm like, oh, shit, okay. He's like, but I have allotted gyms in North Jersey. I was like, great. He's like, and I'm opening one. Dude, 24 hours later, I went up. So literally the next day, when I woke up, I drove up to North Jersey and started looking for places to open the store. So then ended up, I found like, there was like 9 different places. Finally, one landed, and that was Edison. Fast forward, Edison opened. So Edison started doing fine. Everything was moving smooth. And then I was like, you know what? I feel like I have this reach in South Jersey coming up. I was like, let me go take a look. And I remember I messaged, there's a guy named Jeff Long, he's an IBB pro, he's in South Jersey. I was like, hey man, listen, if you're in that area with the gym you train, let me know if you see any spots open, whatever.
Yep.
He messaged me, boom, right away. So that ended up being the 3rd store. And then the 4th store, the way it ended up happening, and I was like, you know, this area all the way in Sewell, New Jersey, you know, there's a lot of competitors there and so forth. I was like, there's some stores. I don't know. It'd be cool if I was there.
Yeah.
And what happened is, you know, I mentioned it to a couple people on my team, and that word got around quick. And then there was a store down there, and they messaged me, they're like, look, man, our lease is coming up in like 8 months. We're like, we don't know if we want to keep it or not. Do you want it? Do you want to buy it? I was like, yeah, fuck it. And then boom, it ended up being the 4th store. So that's how everything went. You know what I mean? And in that whole time, man, listen, dude, I remember when I first started training, I was reading magazines.
When was that? What year did you train?
I started training in my early 20s, like 21. The only reason I started training, bro, is I seen Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious and The Rock. And I had a receding, my hairline was getting bad and it was just thinning. And I was like, fuck, man, I'm going to be bald one day, but I want to look fucking cool like these guys, right?
You look more cool than them now. You're so huge, man.
Yeah, dude. So, yeah, dude. So that was the only, so then I was like, fuck it, I'll just start working out. And I was always the type of person that when I picked a hobby, I wanted to be the best, like, but the best on my end. Like, I wanted to put everything into it. And
competition with yourself.
Yeah, man. And I fell in love with it. I started self-teaching myself, self-learning. I started picking people's heads. And I never had my body wasn't the type of body that reacted right away. I'm the type of person that actually has to live the lifestyle 100% for the body to activate, versus others who can just do a little bit and be fine. So that was the whole bodybuilding aspect. But I remember when I started lifting, when I started lifting, I would read magazines, so Muscle Development,
Yep.
Forth, and I would see people like Victor Martinez, Jay Cutler, and I would copy their programs and so forth. And what's humbling and what I'm grateful is now is fast forward, I'm friends with these people, like literally friends by text message, by phone call. And there were people I was looking up to and reading about. And now
they're in your group.
Yeah, and to me, I don't see myself as anybody special. I just see myself as a regular dude. So when they show me respect, I'm like, fuck, man, I'm grateful because I'm just a regular old Joe.
But I'm doing something right.
Yeah, but they like that I'm impacting their community, their world.
Yep.
I'm like a spokesperson in the right way. And in turn, you know, they show me a lot of respect, man. And it's hence why I've been able to, you know, do the events that I do and all this stuff. Yeah. So that's like the longest story I've ever fucking told ever. It's supposed to be like 5 minutes and ended up being fucking 85.
It's a good story, man. I think a lot of people like to hear stuff like that. Humble beginning.
So it was like that, man. And look, the biggest thing I can put for this, because I get asked all the time, I want to start this, I want to start that. And I'm like, look, man, whatever you start, you better fucking love and do it that you love it, because after 6 months, the shit ain't fun unless you love it. After 12 months, if you're not making any money, you're going to quit unless you love it. So don't ever start anything as the main purpose as money or profit or so forth, because
You're gonna fail.
this shit ends. You have to start something. Yes, extremely. You have to start whatever you're starting because you fucking are obsessed and you love it. Because at that point, man, it's just it's gonna happen, man. You're not going to allow it not to happen.
Yeah.
You could take 6 months, you could take 5 years. It don't fucking matter. You're just gonna keep going. So yeah.
That's crazy.
What do you, I always like to hear about different industries, and I actually used to work for a supplement company. I mentioned that in the last episode. I won't mention their name. I'll tell you afterwards. But
No problem.
what are some of, like, especially being at the top level, you know, you're the guy, the CEO, the owner. What are some of the like challenges day to day of like running a supplement company, especially one with 4 stores, somebody with a lot of respect in the industry?
For me, I don't see anything. Okay, I would say I don't see anything as a challenge because my other half, my wife, supports me working 12 hours a day. So I would say that's a challenge for people, right?
God bless.
You have to be able to do. Listen, man, I get up at 6 or 5. I'm out within 2 hours after I eat cardio. I train, which to me is work. And then I'm in the stores, I'm doing everything, whatever I have to do, all this fucking marketing, because I do everything myself. I don't hire nobody from the outside. And then I come home. So one of the challenges could be whoever you're with, right? Because they always say your girlfriend will fuck you shit up if she's not there for you, supporting, and women can be a downfall, or they could be a best gift.
But the right woman, yeah.
Yes. Number 2 would be, are you willing to be out there for 10 hours, 6 days a week? You know what I mean? I am. So those right there are challenges to me. So that's already goes out the window. The biggest challenge, I would say, everything you do is waves, right? So say I do something exciting, that's a wave. Waves always come down. So my challenge is always making myself relevant within the industry, within the community, where people don't forget me and they want to keep supporting.
Right.
So I would say the biggest thing is just trying to be relevant. Listen, man, shit comes and goes. You know what I mean? The hottest thing today is fucking long gone in 2 days.
Yep.
So you have to constantly create a wave. Like, you know, the way I present the brand now is a little bit different. You know, how social media evolved, how influencers evolved, all that stuff. You know, I just kind of just go with the waves and try to do it that way. So I would say that the hardest part is like, yeah, man, a home. You gotta be able to have your home settled. You gotta be able to be out there for fucking 10 hours every day. And then number 2, man, you gotta keep creating waves.
Man, you're active on social media, man. I see you with Luke all the time. He's hilarious, man.
Yeah, man. Listen, I never had a budget like, I never, listen, this was all my fucking money and I had a little bit. So it's not like I could fucking invest thousands of dollars into marketing. So, but social media is free marketing, right? But social media only works just like everything else. It has to be consistency. So you have to be fucking doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it.
It's tough.
And that's it, man. And that's literally what I do. And, you know, and then, you know, Instagram kind of found my Instagram page for the store has like its set identity. You know, the TikTok has its self identity now, the YouTube that I'm doing. So, but social media is it, man. And it goes back to the same thing. Like, people get, like, you have to be able to, like, when I'll give you an example for TikTok. I hated fucking TikTok. I hated everything about fucking TikTok. I was like, I'll never do this fucking shit. You're never going to catch me doing it.
Did you change your mind?
And then, so I was like, I gotta get information somehow to people and tell them where to go because I always get a lot of messages on product reviews and ingredients. I was like, I need somewhere, and I don't want to fuck up my Instagram and trash it up. I was like, you know what? I'll just create TikTok, put reviews on there. I don't care how many followers I have. All I need is 1,000 just so I could put the link tree on there, and I'll just have it in there, keep going. So I did that. It took me a month to get 1,000 followers. I was like, oh, finally, I can put that link tree. Bro, within a month, 20,000. Another month later, 40,000. Another month later, 80,000 followers.
Damn.
So within 3 months. And all I did is like throw shit up every 3-4 hours. Now, granted, it's shadow banned now, so I'm like trying to get back up there. But TikTok opened my eyes to a lot of things I was hesitant to do, especially on the influencer side, with the young crowd.
Yep.
And I truly saw what the power of social media is, because I remember when my TikTok was booming, my online business was just like, it just went like fucking out of control. And Instagram doesn't have that power.
Yeah.
Neither does Facebook. The only way you could get that through Facebook, and maybe Instagram.
Now Instagram with Reels more is like,
yeah. But like to actually get online presence, to funnel people to buy, is more through like ads, plugging into ads. TikTok, no, man. You get into the algorithm and the for yous, shit's gonna, because I noticed on TikTok, so your followers, for those that are listening, your followers on Instagram are usually the ones that are kind of like within your world, and everything you put out is only gonna hit 90% of your followers and some new ones. TikTok, you are hitting the general public. And no offense to the general public, but they don't know anything. They are very green. They only know what it's shown to them, and it's very little, and it's false information. So, because I saw from the questions I would ask, I'm like, oh my God, now I see how companies can take advantage of people, because some of the questions were so basic. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man, I could just fucking lie to these people and rip their money off. Which I never did. I just always gave information, but it opened my eyes to see, okay, I see how companies can fucking run through people easily, man.
Yep.
What do you think are some of like the common misconceptions like the general public makes because of like these companies out there in bodybuilding, nutrition?
Like, what do you mean? Like product-wise or for companies or?
Yeah, let's say product-wise.
I think their misconceptions are whatever they see, man. You know what I mean? It varies, man, because look, the general companies are made around profits, and when you make a product and it's made around profit, it has to be made cheap, right? So if you're dealing with cheap, you're dealing with bullshit ingredients. So the general industry is that. The information and marketing around it is false, and the average person is just easily scammed.
Yep.
Like very easily scammed. You know, if we get into like the bodybuilding world, look, man, it's a simple misconception. Like every bodybuilder only looks that way because they take drugs, and that's it. That's the end. But if that was the case, I'm next to Planet Fitness. Half of the fucking people in Planet Fitness who come for fucking asking me fucking drug advice, and I tell them no. Yeah, dude, you'd be surprised.
Damn.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many people in the average world are on anabolics just to be on them. And their mental conception of it is, I'm going to look like those guys I see, and they don't get there. Not even fucking close, because they don't have any of the basics.
Because people get
Yes, and then what ends up happening is, in their head, there's a seat that goes, well, they must be taking more, so I'm going to take more. And then the drug obsession for them starts, and it continues, and they destroy their life. And that was an eye-opening when I opened my first store, because my first store is next to a Planet Fitness, and I used to get a lot of guys, like, in their 30s, right? They just joined the gym, but, you know, they saw my size, they just assumed, right? So they would start asking, like, anabolic questions, and I'm like, look, man, I can give you health information and tell you, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, just go to a TRT clinic. But the things that we're saying, and I'm like, dude, you don't even compete.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you're not even going on stage. Like, what are you doing, man? So that right there opened my eyes. Was like, look, man, people are just abusing the drugs, and it's just insane. And now it's happening a lot more with the kids, because you have a lot of influencers, and especially the ones who have great genetics and their bodies activate, their fucking testosterone levels to the roof, right? So you have other kids who want to be influencers now. So there's a lot of them that are starting to abuse just things all over the place.
Yeah. Especially when you start, and especially because most people don't know where to get that kind of stuff safely.
Yes.
And you have no idea what you're putting in your body. And I can't, like, there are people buying stuff like on the internet, and they get it shipped to their house, and like, bro, for all you know, it could be Windex in a bottle.
I know. Like, what I do when I have a lot of conversations with people is, you know, because look, at the end of the day, I'm not your dad, right? Yeah. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
I'll give you advice.
Yes, I'll give you advice. My advice is always like, go have your test levels checked. If they're horrible, you should be on TRT. That's it. And then I give them direct clinic information.
Sure.
What clinic to go to, so they can actually be monitored and do it the correct way.
People are going to do it either way, whether you tell them to or correct. So, you know, I'd rather like just be a good source of information. You know what I mean?
Yes, and that's what I do. And I tell them all, like I said, I'm not nobody's dad, man. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. You're gonna live your life however you want. Yeah. But at least I can help you with some health, get you healthy, keep you healthy, and at least get you through, you know, the right channels.
So from
that are legal.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who is starting a bodybuilding?
So, look, man, the bodybuilding, if somebody's starting in bodybuilding, the fundamentals are training and diet. I would say when I started, if I can go back in time, I would have hired a coach right from the start. I would say I wasted a lot of years, you know, trying to learn on my own.
Here, though.
And what happens is, the thing is, there's a lot more information now that's available to people to teach them, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing is because if you ask me how to get to Philly, and I give you 5 different ways to get there, and you take all 5 ways, you're never gonna get to Philly. So that's what's happening with a lot of people now. The information is abundant, but it's not gonna work when you mix it up. So to cut all that, save the money you're gonna waste, hire a coach that has a good resume. They'll set you up with the diet. They'll literally tell you how to train correctly. And then afterwards, once you get the fundamentals down properly and you see your body transform, then you can decide what route you want to take. But I would say that most important part is the coach aspect.
And
listen. It's affordable. It's not like
listen to your coach. If you're gonna pay somebody all that money, you might as well listen, because, and you know, man, bodybuilding is a sport of longevity. It's a sport of consistency. It's not somewhere, you know, it's not a sport like baseball. You hit a home run, boom, there's your value. You score a touchdown, boom, there's your value. It's not going to happen especially if you're somebody. I feel like most people who want to get into bodybuilding are people who are not in great shape. So if you're coming from a spot where you're already in the hole, it's not going to happen overnight. It is going to be a long process, but there's no way to describe the feeling of not liking the way that you look and then going to a place where you do like the way you look. It's insane. So that, like, my advice to people would just be listen, stay consistent. Some people enjoy going to the gym. I'm one of them, so it's kind of a little bit easier. Diet's my biggest thing. Some people don't like going to the gym. Whatever you don't enjoy, like, it's going to suck for an hour. You're eating a meal you don't like, it's going to suck for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you go on with your day.
And the thing is, look, you can bodybuild and live a lifestyle. You don't have to live it like the way I live it to enjoy it, right?
It's relative in shape. I want to use the word lightly. It's relatively easy to get in shape. What most people lack, and it's not like, oh, you lack this. Like, everybody has, one way or another, an issue with discipline. It's a long process to stay disciplined. That's what most people lack, and it's important. Like, if you just stay disciplined, you would be surprised, especially when you're in bad shape and then you shock your body with doing good things. You'd be surprised what you can do in 2 months.
Feel better.
People want it to happen in 2 days. They want to, go look good for their trip to Miami, and it's not. It doesn't work like
The
that.
6-pack today.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
That was like when YouTube first came out. That was like the biggest thumbnail you would see is how to get abs in 30 minutes.
Yeah, right away.
Yeah.
Just instant.
That was a scam for me.
Exactly.
I'm like, I'll get a 6-pack in a week.
I know.
Yeah,
So it was fucking like laying upside down on the ground 4 hours, sit-ups.
You know what? I had questions. Somebody asked, what's the difference between powerlifting and bodybuilding?
So there's a significant difference. In powerlifting, you're moving the weight. For a very low rep range, you're only activating one muscle fiber and all you're building is strength. That does not mean you're gonna build muscle, okay?
Yeah.
That's just strength. In bodybuilding, you're controlling the weight for significant amount of reps for time under tension, which in turn activates both muscle fibers, and then you grow actual muscle. Muscle mass doesn't always dictate strength. Strength is irrelevant to muscle mass. Yes, you're going to get stronger naturally when you have more muscle, but being strong doesn't mean you're gonna grow muscle. Like I could have somebody in the gym benching 400 pounds for 15 reps. Then I could have somebody in the gym doing the same thing with 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And the guy with 200 has 3 times the chest as the other guy.
Yeah.
Biggest thing is that. Plus powerlifting, listen man, powerlifting is long rest times. You're in the gym for a lot longer time. And you're only dealing with, benching, squatting, and deadlifting. Bodybuilding is you actually building a body. Powerlifting is just building strength and moving weight.
I would consider powerlifting more of a sport.
Yes.
And bodybuilding is more of an art form. I truly look.
Art form and hobby.
Yeah.
On that aspect, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So what are the most effective exercise for building a muscle mass?
So that there's always like specific core movements and stuff like that. The biggest thing is, because I can tell you, let's say I tell you this is the best, the dumbbell bench press is the best exercise ever. But if you're not having a muscle-mind connection and actually working the chest muscles, but instead activating the triceps and delts, you won't grow it.
Yeah.
So the thing isn't about having the best exercises. The thing is doing exercises that can hit all the muscle heads. So let's just say chest, right? You have upper, middle, and lower. Okay, that's it. Upper, middle, or lower. So you need at least those 3 different exercises in there. And whatever those 3 exercises you pick the ones where you're going to feel the activation the most, and you're able to then push more weight, more reps in that aspect.
Because I have a back pain problem, but when I go train for a little bit, then at night my muscles are tight and I have a lot of pain. And even when I use a massage gun, after that I can't sleep at all.
It could be it's an inflammation aspect. You can take inflammation like curcumin to help with inflammation. Because when we go to the gym, we're damaging microscopic fibers. That's what we're doing. So you're damaging the area and then it has to heal. If you don't stop, it will fix itself. So I'll give you an example. When I was 19, I had a car accident. I fucking flipped the car 7 times, flew out the back window, and broke a vertebrae.
Damn.
In my spine. And didn't operate because when it broke, it was still touching the spine. So they let the body heal it and squeeze it together. But it healed on a 45-degree angle. So what happened is I had, back pain all the time. I couldn't sit for too long, weather, all that stuff. After I started training and building it, I have 0 back pain.
Damn.
0.
Doing everything wrong.
I have none. No, what happened is I was able to build muscle mass in the area to hold everything tight. Now, I will tell you right now, if I stop training,
your pain is gonna come back?
But for months, just give up training, that area will get soft and I will probably fucking be screaming in pain with nerve pain and everything. Because I know, like, a story with that, and to lead into another story with that is, there's an IFBB pro used to be my coach. So he did construction when he was younger, bodybuild, lifted heavy, all those things. He had some back pain, nothing crazy, whatever. Fast forward like 5 years, 6 years later, he stopped training for like 6 months. He wasn't feeling good. He was going through like stuff with his, girlfriend, all these things, the usual shit, right? He woke up one morning and couldn't walk. So his back got soft and the vertebrae was loosened up and it hit nerves and he couldn't walk. He had to get an emergency surgery. And it all happened because he stopped working. So moral of the story, fucking work out, deal with the pain. It's only going to get better. That's basically what's going to end up happening.
Because I stopped a little bit because I thought that's making my pain. So
No.
actually I'm building the back like that.
No, yeah, you have to, man. I mean, think about it, man. You ever sat on a couch for a couple hours, got up and you're like...
Then I go like this, then I straight up after a couple.
Yeah, dude. So you want to keep working out. Look, if you want to ease pain, look, CBD, creams, kratom, if you smoke. Like, these things will kind of ease the pain if you have like thing, but we have to get through that and let the body build its way around that area.
So you need to do that all your life, just smoke. So the pain
Listen, man, whatever you like to do, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's just what I'm saying is, at this point, because it's annoying, you know what I mean? You could do different things to kind of offset the pain, but I'm not going to say stop training just so you don't have the pain. I'm going to say keep training so you can keep trying to build more muscle around that area and it gets better. Just understand, when you train, just train so you feel the muscles. You're not jerking or just moving the weight. You're controlling the weight. Like that way, man.
That's interesting.
Yeah, man. You're welcome. I'll charge you later for the information.
Of course.
First one's free.
The fucking injuries are going to happen. Like, it's just the way it is, right? Because gym is, you're tearing microscopic fibers. You're about to have injuries. What I always did through my injuries, aches and pains, is if I'm feeling a pain in my front rotor or somewhere in my delt in the back, for example, right?
Yeah.
Whatever exercise I'm doing that's going to activate that area, I close my eyes, I do the exercise, and then I maneuver how I bring the weight down and up to a way where I move the pain to a different part. So when your eyes are closed, the only sense is the sense of feeling, right? Pain, right? That's the only sense you have. So when you're lifting that weight, you can basically, like, say if my shoulder hurts, like, 'cause I just had recently pain here.
Yeah.
So if I'm lifting and I close my eyes, I can go this way more to offset the pain versus like going this way that made the pains go higher. And by closing my eyes and doing it slow, I'm able to move that tension to a different part of the shoulder, which allows me to still get blood into that area and heal quicker. You want blood. The more blood into the area, the quicker the healing is going to happen. By not using the area, healing slows down.
Damn.
So again, it goes back to, bro, you gotta suck it up.
That's good to know.
But the training aspect is just that, man. That's the biggest trick. And that trick can also be used when you're trying to build muscles, because say somebody has a weaker body part. Like, I always had a hard time growing my back, my lats. And I started using that method. And literally, I was able to pull the pain of the muscles that I'm training to the area of the lat I was trying to train, which in turn then fast forward to me actually growing it. There was years I was never even working my back. I thought I was, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
So
all these techniques.
Yeah, but now that, like, when I started doing that, I was able to pinpoint, and I use that trick to this day all the time for different body parts when I need to. Always.
I was gonna ask you about where did you came with the name Ares?
So yeah, man. So when I was coming up with like the idea for brand, right? I wanted the logo to be cool, right? Like something that, like,
catchy.
Yeah, that I haven't seen before. And I just wanted the name to have some kind of meaning. So to me, Ares means God of War. So in the back of my head, I'm like, well, you can technically have that mentality with anything in life, right?
Yep.
The God of War goes all out for that battle, that fight, whatever it is. That same mentality can be put into work, your family, your passions, whatever are, where you are basically out of war and you're trying to win. So that's where that name stuck to me. And then I was like, look, man, the name sticks. And then I just got to get a nice logo, which I had a gentleman create for me, and then just kind of stick it together and put it like that, man.
Yours is so inspirational, and mine is when they ask me how you create Blackbull. I say I drink a lot of Red Bull, so I can't with different Blackbull.
I have a meeting. He's like, yeah, man, I just drink fucking Red Bull. That's it. Yes, well, listen, man, you're lucky I didn't go. Yeah, I was playing God of War on PlayStation. I was like, yep, that's where we're gonna go with that.
Kind of matches the story.
We're gonna fucking go with that.
So how many locations you have now? Where people can find you?
4: Edison, Hamilton, Mount Laurel, and Seward. They're all half an hour away from each other.
Nice. So make sure you guys, if you need some good supplements, you know where to go to get the good stuff. Don't use drugs. I'm kidding. It's okay. You can do whatever you want as long as you train, right?
Yeah, listen, you know, the way you guys live your lives is the way you live your lives, right? At the end of the day, it's longevity and health. You want to enjoy what you're doing,
Yep.
but you want to be healthy. So, you know, yes, I sell supplements, you know, all that stuff. But the biggest thing is, you know, I provide information. We all provide information in the stores and just the real truth. And when you do stop in the stores, just understand it's like, bro, you're stopping into a fucking Mercedes-Benz dealership, not a shop which sells Civics. So I sell premium things, and that's what it is, man. If that's what you're looking for, that's what I got.
That's good to know.
And if you want to rent an actual Mercedes, talk to me.
Yeah, talk to this guy, and you be set.
And if you get it dirty, you know who to call.
And listen, if you do all 3, you get discounts everywhere. So it's a fucking done.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Wish you all the best. Stay tuned, guys. Subscribe. Blackbull. Peace.
Thank you, guys.